Today I'm taking a Dollar Tree picture frame from basic to beautiful as I craft a heartfelt gift, perfect for Mother's Day or any special occasion. Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you for choosing to watch my video. Stay tuned for some simple yet effective techniques and tips that will leave your loved ones speechless. For this project, I'm going to be using a 5x7 frame from Dollar Tree, a photo that I printed out, and this is a mold, and I'll talk more about that coming up. Some hot glue and paint of your choice. This mold that I have is from, or made by Wilton. It's a fondant and gum paste mold, and I'm going to be using hot glue inside of it today. Just a disclaimer that anytime you use any of your molds for crafting, then it needs to be a dedicated mold for crafting. You don't want to use it for anything else besides crafting. So now what I have here is my Surebonder glue gun, and it's as simple as just squeezing the glue inside of the cavity. And then once you have that filled up, you just let it cool, and then it will pop right out. So I'm going to do this one and then the corresponding one. And I also have some other pieces that I did prior, and I'll show you those here momentarily. And if you do happen to go over, the hot glue is really forgiving in that you can cut it. Excuse me. Now, so what I did was I went ahead and did this one, and where'd this come from? This one, and this one again. So actually I meant to do these two. So I'm going to go ahead and do those right now, and I'll just have two extra ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just move these off to the side and let them cool down. Just a little spot. And then I'll talk about the photo. So I printed this photo out, and this is actually on glossy printable vinyl. You don't necessarily have to use that. That's just what I had on hand, so that's what I'm using. And I went into Canva and placed this "Love You More" saying on the photo along with some hearts to jazz it up a little bit. But this is a picture of my baby. Isn't he handsome? But yes, I'm going to be putting this into this 5x7 frame. So again, you can go into Canva, and I don't pay for Canva, so everything that I did on here is free. And I just found a font that I liked, and then I used the curve effect on the words, and then again I just typed in a search for hearts and found this one, and I put it on there. So here is our 5x7 frame, and the reason why I was doing these pieces was because this is a rather plain frame, and so I wanted to kind of jazz it up a little bit. So this is just a cheap and easy way to add some design elements to plain frames if that's your choice. So these are going to end up at the top of the frame here, and maybe I didn't need those other two pieces, but we'll see. So let's check on our mold here, and we'll see if these are ready. I think they just need a few more minutes to dry down. So once they are dry down, I will come back and take them out of the mold with you. These have had the opportunity to cool down. I think I was saying dry down earlier. Just cool down. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. And these do have a little bit of over pour on them, and so it's really easy just to go ahead and trim that glue right up. We'll set those to the side. I don't know that I need them for this. So what I have here is just a piece of parchment paper, And I'm going to lay this out how I think I want them to be on the frame. I think I want to do something like that. Let me make sure it's going to not be too big. I think that's going to look okay. I know you unfortunately can't see it because it's white on white, I'm just now realizing. Let me bring this up closer. That's what I've laid out with the pieces. Now what I'm going to do is start gluing these together with hot glue on the parchment paper here. So I'm going to start with this piece here. And I've never tried this before, so we're experimenting together with this. Okay. Well, let me let it set up before I start moving it around too much. And I just got impatient and still pulled it up anyway. But this is what the two pieces look like together. So I'm going to continue building. And actually, since this isn't any better. One moment. This is much better. So, that you can see. So what I'm going to do now is add this part on. And this is just a silicone sheet that I have here. You don't necessarily have to have this. It's just so that I can let you see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So I'm going to put some glue along here. And this portion of it would be much easier with a detailed glue gun. Unfortunately, mine is no longer working, so I just have the big glue gun for now. So add that piece on there, and I want to stick that piece in there, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to put a little glue here and here. And slide that right in there. I'm just going to wipe up this little extra. And this one here and here. And again, I'm going to wipe up the little extra. I'm just going to turn this around so I can see it better. How did I decide? There's so many variations that you can do. I think this was it here. Swing that up more. So that just slots right in there like that. I could really sit here and play with this all day, but I'm going to make a decision and do it like this. But I am going to come in and trim just a little bit of this off. There, that's fitting in there better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come in with some glue in this section. Slide that right in there and remove this extra. Do the same for this side. Okay, so I'm going to let that cool down, and then I'm going to flip it over and see if it needs, once it's cool, it peels right up off of the silicone pad here. Let's see how this is going to look. Yeah, I think that'll be okay just like that. Or it can go on the bottom, but I do have the wording on the bottom, so I think that it may interfere. Maybe not. I think I'm going to go with my original idea and do it on the top. But again, you can do the whole frame if you like. And you can, I mean, there's so many different molds you can use. Flowers, little borders you can do. That's another option if you wanted to do borders instead. This is just, again, a way to jazz up this inexpensive frame rather than just, you know, throwing a picture in it and calling it a day. You can make your frame just a little bit more special for whoever you may be giving it to or for yourself. So I don't think that this really needs any more fortifying, is what I was thinking it might need. I think once I glue it on, it'll be, in the places that I do have to glue it on, we'll get glue in those spots. Okay. So I'm going to go get some paints together that I want to paint this, and I'll be back. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and keep this simple and use the Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. And I'm back with the parchment paper, but I thought it would be easier cleanup than the silicone mat. So I'm just going to come in and paint this all black. And another option is you can most certainly spray paint this if that's easier for you than hand painting this entire thing. Just, I mean, it's not some gigantic piece, but yeah, that's an option as well. I'm just going to paint this in, and then I'm going to set it aside to dry. This has had a chance to dry, so what I'm going to do now is to get it glued onto the top of the frame. But I don't know if you can really pick it up on the camera, but once I painted this, I realized that the frame isn't quite the same black. So I did do these three sides with the chalk paint. I haven't done this side yet because I want to glue this on first, and then I'll go ahead and paint around it. But I don't particularly like to glue on top of paint anymore because I feel like it has a harder time sticking. So I do have some thick permanent adhesive, and I marked the center of the frame at the top, and then what I did was I just kind of placed it down here, flipped it over, and made some register marks kind of where I need to place my glue. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a moderate coat of this on here in between these two lines that I drew, and I'm going to leave a little space somewhere for some hot glue. I was planning to do it right here, but I went ahead and got ahead of myself, so there's that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try not to get too messy with this, because it does, what am I trying to say? It does not dry clear. So I think I'm gonna leave a little space here in the center to put some glue. Hot glue, excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to put a dot of hot glue right here. I'm going to find my center. Okay. So I do have a little bit of squeeze out here on the side. I'm not too pressed about it just because I still haven't painted this portion of the frame black yet. So I'm just going to let that dry. Just kind of clean up just a little bit. I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint over this top area as well as disguise any glue. And I'll be back with you once that is dry. The paint is dry now, so what I'm going to do is come over the molds here with this rusty brown colored wax through Alchemy. It's a matte wax. So I'm just gonna take a little bit out and just rub it around the high spots to bring out some of the detail. To me, it looks like it's showing up as silver on the screen, but it's more of like a light brownish bronzy color. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's the lighting that I have, but that's what it's looking like so far. So now at this point we can put the frame back together. Now while I was waiting for the paint to dry, I went ahead and just cut out from some stiffer cardboard. I cut out these pieces here, the backing and the part that holds in the mat, so it'd be a little bit sturdier. That's not a necessary step, but I just wanted it to be a little bit sturdier than what it was. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a piece of tape, just a small piece, just to hold the picture in place. And I have my glass here, and oops, gotta turn this over. Put that back in. And there you have it. Nice little framed up picture for that special person in your life. And stay tuned to see the final pictures. There are so many ways to take a Dollar Tree frame from basic to beautiful. I hope I've inspired you to add your personal touch to your frames. Thank you for joining me on this creative journey. I'd love to hear about your special projects in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already for more crafting ideas, and hit the bell to stay updated. Until next time, happy crafting and happy gifting.